Despicable Me 4 is on its way, but you'll have to wait a while for Gru and the Minions' new adventures. Universal Pictures and Illumination confirmed the fourth movie in February 2022. It's not surprising that it's coming, given that Despicable Me 3 and Minions each grossed $1 billion. Let's walk through it. Despicable Me 4 is set to hit the theaters in 2024, and the latest addition in Illumination's supervillain franchise might be one of Gru's strangest excursions yet. Beginning with Despicable Me 2010, the $3.7 billion franchise has risen to become one of the most successful of all time. Sequels, including spin-off prequels, are typically released every 2 to 3 years, assuring the series' continued popularity. In addition to the Despicable Me films, themed books, video games, and short films were released. The franchise continues to prosper, and Universal has confirmed that Despicable Me 4 will take Gru's universe even further. Despicable Me 4 is one of Universal's most anticipated forthcoming films, and while specifics about the plot and cast are still being kept under wraps by Illumination, there has been plenty of tease in the lead-up to its 2024 release date. Despicable Me 3 had a massive theatrical run, with its new villain, Balthazar Bratt, played by Trey Parker, becoming popular with fans. Despicable Me 4's release date has officially been announced, with story elements promised by Gru voice actor Steve Carell. Despicable Me 4's release date was set in February 2022, but there has been little news since. Steve Carell has teased what's in store for Gru in the forthcoming Despicable Me film, but his hints have been extremely wide, while the theatrical release date has been set as July 3rd, 2024. Illumination and Universal have not announced when the new Despicable Me film will be available for streaming. Several publications have reported that the streaming release date will be in October or November 2024. However, unless the studio confirms this, it cannot be assumed as a certainty. Despicable Me 4 is expected to be available for streaming on Peacock. Despicable Me 4 is confirmed. Illumination and Universal Pictures confirmed Despicable Me 4 and announced that it would begin production in February 2022, 5 years after the third film was released in 2017. It is unclear why there was such a long lag between installments. The next Despicable Me film will be released in 2024, as announced, and is yet to be postponed despite the 2020 COVID-19 epidemic and the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Despicable Me 4 release date. Universal Pictures and Illumination have selected July 3rd, 2024 as the release date for Despicable Me 4, and is presently unknown when the film will be accessible for streaming, but it is expected to be released for home viewing around October or November of the same year. Despicable Me 4 is scheduled to be hosted on Peacock. Despicable Me 4 cast, which voice actors and characters will return. So far, just 4 actors have been officially acknowledged as part of the Despicable Me 4 ensemble. Steve Carell, The Office, returns as Gru, with Kristen Wiig, Bridesmaids, playing his wife Lucy Wilde. Miranda Cosgrove, iCarly, returns as Gru's eldest daughter Margot, while Steve Coogan, Philomena, reprises his role as Silas Ramsbottom. Despicable Me 4 viewers can expect another round of hijinks as Pierre Coffin, Minions, returns to voice all of the Minions in the film. While Margot has been confirmed as appearing in Despicable Me 4, what about Gru and Lucy's other daughters? Only one of the girls has been recast across the 3 Despicable Me films, with Elsie Fisher, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, playing Agnes in Despicable Me and the sequel, and Nev Sherrill, All Rise, taking up the role in Despicable Me 3. So it's quite likely that Dana Gare, The Secret Life of Kyle, will return as Edith, and Nev Sherrill will play Agnes in Despicable Me 4. Despicable Me 4 story and plot details. While narrative specifics for Despicable Me 4 have yet to be revealed, a few clues about the premise have been teased. Despicable Me 4's plot will most likely revolve around another supervillain-caused world-ending calamity that only Gru's knowledge can prevent. Steve Carell talked up to Digital Spy about where Gru and his family are at the start of the second Despicable Me film. According to Carell, in Despicable Me 4, Gru and his family will battle alongside each other in the Anti-Villain League. This is a continuation of the story. Gru and Lucy get married. They are now a family. He goes on to say it's the next step in their world with the Anti-Villain League and how their kids are included in the whole process. Aside from this, there is little precise information concerning Despicable Me 4's plot. The movie will be directed by which are Despicable Me 1 and 2, as well as The Lorax, with a screenplay written by Mike White, which is The White Lotus. Chris Meledandri is producing Despicable Me 4, as he has for all of Illumination's flicks. Despicable Me 4 trailer. As of yet, there is no trailer for Despicable Me 4. Don't expect a trailer to be released anytime soon because the film won't be released until the summer of 2024. It's possible, but unlikely, that a teaser will be released toward the end of 2023, but any Despicable Me 4 promotional material will not be available until 2024. Where can you watch Despicable Me 4? Despicable Me 4, like its predecessors, will receive a full theatrical release on the aforementioned date. There is no word yet about a streaming availability for the picture, but given that Universal films typically stream on Peacock, it is quite probable that Despicable Me 4 will be available on the platform sometime after its debut. So whether you choose to go to the movies or stay home, there should be a watching choice for you, or perhaps, like Quentin Tarantino and his son, you simply enjoy Despicable Me in whatever format. How to watch all the Despicable Me movies in chronological order? Here's a useful guide for people who want to see all the Despicable Me movies in chronological order and in time for the release of Despicable Me 4. The majority of these movies are available for rent and purchase on Amazon and other online video stores, with Minions: The Rise of Gru also accessible on Netflix. Here's a chronological list with links to watch each movie: Minions: The Rise of Gru, Despicable Me 2, and Despicable Me 3. The pandemic caused delays initially. In July 2017, a month after the release of Despicable Me 3, Universal Pictures and Illumination announced plans for Minions: The Rise of Gru, a prequel to the Despicable Me world and a sequel to the 2015 Minions film. The film was scheduled to be released on July 3, 2020. That same month, production on the prequel began under the supervision of Kyle Balda, with Brad Abelson and Jonathan Del Val serving as co-directors. However, as the film was being developed, the global health catastrophe caused by COVID-19 grew over the world, forcing the film industry, like many others, to take action. While Despicable Me is Illumination Entertainment's most popular franchise, it is far from the only one. They have 2 films scheduled for release in 2023, The Minions: The Rise of Gru, Despicable Me 4, The Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Migration. The Super Mario Bros. Movie debuted on April 5, 2023, and became the studio's highest-earning film ever, grossing $1.36 billion globally. Despicable Me 4 has received widespread recognition and announcement. The future of the Despicable Me property is unknown, leaving fans hungry for any news or updates on the possible continuation of the famous animated series. Are you excited about the release of Despicable Me 4? Leave a comment below to share your thoughts on this project. But the adventure does not finish here. We have a lot more intriguing information on all themes in store for you. To keep updated, make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell. Adios.